Chat telling us time is up, so we need to get started. Mr. Bricks O'Brien, welcome.
Forget
to
about
ZB
those
Live.
people. Those people don't know what they're talking about. There's too much Lego to talk about. There's too much Final Fantasy to geek over. There's too much Nintendo. I think next week is a Nintendo Direct, which we might have to kick the show by an hour or to the next. We'll talk about. We should have talked about. Anyways.
Every week you're saying the next week is the Nintendo Direct. I don't think it's going to happen.
Hey, man.
I don't think they have anything to show.
Okay.
I don't think they have anything good to show. I think all of their good stuff is already out there. I think Nintendo's dying, and we're never going to see anything from Nintendo again.
We have a jam-packed show today as we get into ZMB Live Unfiltered for February 7th, 2024.
I'm trying to trigger him right out of the gate, chat.
Nope. If you are watching us live on YouTube, thank you very much for tuning in to what we have to offer today. Also, thank you to our Spotify or Apple Podcast listeners, now available on those platforms Thursdays at 10 a.m., where you can listen to the audio version of the show as you are driving to work or getting pumped at the gym, where they will, as Zach would say, pump you up with that.
To pump you up.
Yeah. So
your
you can
minds, your Lego brains.
Wherever
pump up the brains.
Wherever you engage with this show, we appreciate it. So give us a follow over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or if you're watching live on YouTube, subscribe to the Zach M. Rutledge YouTube channel, and make sure you smack the like button as if it said something bad about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Okay?
I need a whip sound on my soundboard.
Dude, I don't think if you would just remove all the other advertisements for non-sponsors of this show, then maybe you'd have room on your Stream Deck to actually make that work.
But I got to leave room for my State Farm. We've got Super Bowl coming up this weekend. I got to keep all of my JD Wentworths and my Chili's baby back ribs and McDonald's and whatever on here.
So I hate my friends because I said, "Hey,
tell me how you really feel.
Let's get together for the Super Bowl, so we have an excuse to hang out. We get some drinks, we get some food," and everyone was like, "No."
What?
They just don't care. No one cares to like hang out and just sit and eat. And that's half the reason why you go to the watch the Super Bowl anyway, for the advertisements, which, by the way, I think we're getting a Deadpool 3 trailer, which is very exciting at the Super Bowl.
I was talking about that the other day live on Twitch. We were going over what kind of things that we could expect from the movie trailer side of things, right? Like that's always a big time. We get the water cooler commercials on Super Bowl, and then movie trailers. It's always a big thing. Movie trailers.
Yep.
Deadpool 3 is a no-brainer.
Yep.
Ghostbusters, they'll do another trailer for Ghostbusters. Yep. We might get another the last Mission Impossible teaser trailer, maybe.
No, I think they changed the name on Dead Reckoning Part 2, and I think they kicked it by a year or something.
Oh, is that what happened? Okay.
I think so. But so maybe not.
Okay, but see, my point is because we had the writer strike, we had the actor strike, so a lot of these things kind of got pushed. And now I'm not sure. I'm sitting around thinking, what's out there? Like, there's out of Deadpool, other than Deadpool, like, what is it?
So the other half of this show is like, it's like Lego news and the pop culture surrounding it. And we've been very light on the pop culture side for the entire duration of this show so far, because there just really hasn't been anything super crazy. But we have like Avatar: The Last Airbender coming out, which they've done Lego Avatar before, which I'm super excited about. And I can't wait to talk about hopefully next week. We have a little bit of time or the week after, but that comes out February 22nd. So there's like a couple things, but we definitely are still in the lull, and it'll be another 2 months, I feel like, before we're starting to really kick into stuff for the summer.
Because stuff got just so delayed. It just sucks.
They just announced in July 2025, new Jurassic Park coming out. But that's a whole other can.
Another Jurassic World. David Leitch is the one director.
So it's going to be a not continuation of Jurassic World, Chris Pratt. It is a third
Start of a new
segment of a apparently. So I don't know.
Great. That's a franchise I kind of wanted to die. I'm a big Jurassic fan. I kind of want it to die.
That's actually very surprising to hear from you. I thought you'd be a Jurassic guy for sure.
No, because the Jurassic World series kind of left me.
Sure.
You know, and that, sure. and frankly, Jurassic Park 3 kind of left me. You know, well, so it hasn't been good for a while.
I've said there are 2 good Jurassic movies: Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. Everything else, indifferent.
You're not wrong. Jurassic World was a lot of fun. It kind of reminded me of the fun I had in the first Jurassic Park. Lost World I did enjoy, but not nearly as much as Jurassic Park. That would probably be out of all of them. Lost World would probably be my third favorite, you know, kind of thing. And again, we're going into the pop culture weeds here, but I wasn't necessarily my spidey tingle didn't go off when I heard that they were going to be kind of redoing that or not.
You know what is rebooting getting redone that I think a lot of people have forgotten about, and this isn't just a segue, it's the truth too, is Harry Potter. That we're getting a Harry Potter 1 season per book series on Max eventually one day.
Yeah, one day. They keep talking about it. I don't know. I'd be curious to see if that actually happens.
I absolutely it will. Yeah.
You think so? The Fantastic Beasts films did not do well money.
Yeah, but that's because Warner Brothers, they try to do something new and they're like, oh, this isn't Harry Potter. Oh, and now they're just going to redo Harry Potter for the next 10 years, literally, is what's going to happen. Starting in probably 2020, I bet 2025 or 6.
That'd be wild. I mean, I'd be down for it. Especially that was my biggest problem with the second Chris Columbus, the Chamber of Secrets one, was it felt like it was just a collection of scenes from the book as opposed to a cohesive story. And because I was a big fan of the Harry Potter books, and I thought that they did a really good job with that first movie, like really made it feel. You know, they condensed the story, but they really made it feel like a cohesive story. But it was also one of the shortest books, you know, out of the whole thing. And then once the book started getting thicker,
much larger,
then it was much more difficult to try to condense that into movie form. But the Lego Harry Potter train is not stopping on its way to Hogwarts. And coming up here, folks, we've got a very, very, very cool set that is hitting on March 1st. Another March 1st entry into the ever-growing list. March 1st might end up being one of the best launches for a single date that Lego has ever had.
People you say that every year, and there's got to be something that inevitably outdoes it. So
I don't know. This is getting crazy, but the Sorting Hat has been thrown into the mix. The overall design of this is spectacular. Comes with a is that a Harry minifig with the Sorting Hat?
Yep, that's an exclusive Harry minifigure face print, and then the Sorting Hat, which has appeared in a couple different sets before. But yeah.
But the big news here, obviously, is the new sound brick that they are including in there. Now, I haven't heard a demo of this yet. I don't know if you have.
I have.
What does it sound like?
It sounds exactly like the kind of chunky, garbled Lego Mario in a way, which is what you would expect out of
That's better than I thought. That's better than I thought.
Yeah. It's definitely not ideal, but it's a plastic box that is retailing in a set for probably 120, 110, maybe $100. So you're not going to get anything too crazy out of it. What is really cool is that it's just that purple box that you see right there. And as you are clicking into it, either from the top or wherever, you can play a bunch of different sounds for it. Now, I don't know if that'll be reprogrammable by hackers or whatever. I don't even think they've done that with Lego Mario. I'm not quite sure. But there's definitely a lot of potential for other, Lego related things to pop out of this. And then, what's really cool with this as I'm thinking about it. You have obviously all these different things a sorting hat can say, but it's a combination of all these different phrases they can go into. So, Gryffindor is one line, Ravenclaw is one line, but then the hat will go, I'm thinking Gryffindor. So that's three phrases right there. And it'll combine all these different phrases to make, a bunch of these different words to make a bunch of different phrases, basically, really expanding what they could do with all of this.
What a great idea. And when I first heard about the sound brick, I wondered if it was going to be really like muffled and kind of staticky and one of those toy type of pull string soundy whatever things. But if you're telling me that it's coming across like a Lego Mario, I think those sound pretty good for what they are and what they do. I think those do actually sound pretty darn good. So that the sound brick is not a make or break for me on this set. I think it's a great addition. I think it's a cool addition, and the fact that we're getting that along with an exclusive Harry figure on top of what I think is a very interesting looking build that will go beautifully set next to all of our other Harry Potter display sets that we have, with the added fun play feature of the sound brick. This is a win-win, man. This is a great set. I know I've got nieces that are just going to go freaking bananas over this set. Myself, I'm going to go freaking bananas over this set, and I need to stop freaking collecting Harry Potter sets because
you do.
You have to draw a dang line somewhere with sets, but
you do.
This set's gonna look great next to the icon set. It just will, because that's the one thing missing out of that icon set is the dang hat. Like that's the one kind of, you get the wand, you get the glasses, you get the scarves, the books, the potions, the chocolate frog, the snitch. You needed the hat, and it was excluded from that set, and now we get one. So having it displayed next to it, I think is going to be a real treat for people like me that can't seem to save money at all.
I think if you were trying to put the sorting hat into the icon set, you obviously wouldn't be getting the box with it. And I think that would have detracted from that set if it had the sound box in it. So the centerpiece being Hedwig with the customizable letter and all that. So it really makes sense now that we see all of this come to fruition. And now you can add it onto there. So I'll be passing on it because Harry Potter don't get the space and don't want to dedicate the space to it. So it is cool when you tip the hat down, the eyebrows pop up and the mouth moves, so you can make it look like it's like talking as the sound box is going off. So
I think that's what's going to get me is the mechanics of this set, like how they're going to make all this stuff work and move and everything.
It's very, very interactive. So if you're a fan of that, then absolutely. Yeah. And then I'll be curious, obviously, to see how they implement the voice box into hopefully now 1,000 other things.
Yeah. That's what's nice, right? Is they're kind of now setting some technology available to be incorporated, down the line for different sets and different uses. And you could potentially see that in things like some of, maybe the Speed Champion cars or some of the bigger car sets where you start adding car noises and things. Like you can do a lot of stuff now with this technology, and that's exciting. It's exciting for the future of Lego and what they have to offer here. I'm very much
really curious about is what is the tax on a Lego set because of that voice box. Is it a $10 piece? Is it a $15 piece? Like, because if we see this appear in more sets, there's going to be the argument of, all right, well, if they had only taken out that stupid sound box that I don't care about, this would be $20 cheaper, right? Like, how much of an impact on the price does something like this have,
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying, because we see that with a lot of stuff, right? Light bricks and otherwise. But I still find it interesting that this is a set, and it's not a lot of pieces, and I understand that, but they're big pieces. It's 561 big pieces. I'm sure there's a lot of mechanics going on inside here. You get an exclusive minifig with it. You get the new sound, and it's $99 US.
Yeah.
That's reasonable for a display set like this, an adult 18 plus display set, $100 with all of that, with and the Harry Potter franchise tax on top of it. Like that's reasonable. So it makes me think like the actual sound box may not be adding too much to the overall cost of things, which maybe that means now. That doesn't mean Lego won't try to do that after the fact on other sets and say, well, but we're including an exclusive sound brick that adds this. Now that's where the reprogrammable thing you're talking about, people out there hacking these bricks or something. Can it be done? Is it reprogrammable with some NFC technology kind of thing? Like I've seen that with things like the kyber crystals that Disney uses for their lightsabers and things. Like people can use NFC readers or programmers or whatever and change. They can't change the color obviously of the crystal, but they can change what the programming, they can unlock the other programming in the crystal itself depending on whatever it's set to and things like that. So if that's the technology they're using, then yeah, I see people eventually. Now, everyday person, no, absolutely not.
No, of course not.
But you pair this with the Patronus stag, you pair this with the Dobby on top of that, man, there's some nice display sets going on right now with Harry Potter. And if you are a Harry Potter Lego fan, you're eating good right now.
You've been eating good for 5 years.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon. Speaking of not stopping anytime soon, the March 1st releases are just coming in fast and heckin' furious, and we are rolling down that track with even more new releases with regards to sets like Speed Champions, Technic, and even a system-built race car. This is exciting. I am not a Technic fan. I don't like to get into them. I'm going to be building my very first one later this month. This Technic Mercedes looks fantastic, but give me that system built car, baby. Like I love that they gave everybody something they wanted. They did it, Brian. They did it.
Oh, sorry, I was about to take a nap.
Because Brian doesn't care about any of this.
About the clock out. Sorry, everybody.
There are people that genuinely love these vehicles, that live for these vehicles, that live for the Speed Champion vehicles. And I know that there are people going bananas over this new Technic Mercedes. They are loving it. He's really sharing his thoughts on these F1 line.
I don't understand the fascination, but I know I am becoming in the minority. I know people like watching their F1 race car driver documentary drama things like, oh, is he going to get in this red car? Is he going to get in this red car? We don't know by the end of the season. Like it's that level of like involvement with stuff, but not for me at all. So this is like you talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for like 40 minutes.
So that's F1 in general. Are you into any of the vehicles that they've ever done, system or otherwise?
Have I built them?
Have you built any of them? If you have you enjoyed any of them? Or is it always you just turn your nose up to all? You just refuse to love nice things? Is that what the issue is here?
The very, very, very first set I ever built as a Lego store employee back in 2014 was the Mini Cooper. And that was one of the first cars when they were kind of making this being a thing, like these larger system scale cars. Like they obviously had them before, but like a dedicated series releasing one after another. I'm not like a car guy. like in general, and I'm not, fascinated with cars necessarily in the same way. I don't know how to drive manual. I don't care about, what type of engine it is. I get my oil changed from the guy down the street. I don't do it myself. Like I don't, I'm never I have a Toyota RAV4. So like I don't have a fascination with like, oh, we have this, point A to point B, make sure the AC works, I'm that kind of a guy. So anything other than that, I'm very like indifferent to all of it.
Is that a guy thing to get like totally just flabbergasted when somebody tells you they don't know how to drive manual? Like, because I'm shocked by this, that you've gone your entire life without learning how to drive a manual.
I think it is, and it definitely takes points away from my masculinity, which is fine. It is whatever. But I have no rebuttal. That's it. No, I just don't know how to drive a manual. I don't know.
Well, when I come down and you stay with me at the Haunted Castle, we'll go rent a manual.
Bricks O'Brien Industries LLC, we cannot confirm nor deny the appearances of Mr. Saviano at this time.
Visual evidence. We have visual evidence.
That is not visual evidence. That's not what that was at all. Actually, not even a little bit. But that's what's
it would hold up. It would hold up in court.
Yeah. Okay.
I have lawyers that would make that hold up in court. One of the Speed Champion sets actually is a nice pullback, which again just adds a nice little layer of fun playability, whatever. I don't personally get into the Speed Champions. I know a lot of people do. For me, collecting Speed Champions is like what I collect for or it's not the Speed Champions one, it's the Technic. It's the smaller Technic one, right? That is the pullback. For me, collecting Speed Champions though is like my collecting of brickheads. I can't start collecting Speed Champions, or I will go down a path.
Yeah, you can't do it.
That I shouldn't go down. Brickheads has already led me down a deep dark path that I need to pump the brakes on, but I still can't. I got a big box yesterday full of Stitch and Groot and Spider-Man, and it's just like I can't stop with my flipping brickhead. So Speed Champions would be the same way. And I know a lot of our AFOLs out there, a lot of the AFOLs in the audience and in chat right now do that. Like that's a thing that they love to collect. They love to build them. They've seen the progression of those Speed Champion cars over the years, and it's really cool, and more power to them. Will I be picking up any of these? Maybe the system set. I don't. If it was, here's the thing: it's an F1 car. If it was an Indy car, I'd probably be more inclined to do it because I have a history with IndyCar. I don't have a history with Formula One, like a personal history with IndyCar. I don't have a history with Formula One, so I think I may pass on all of it just because of the current backlog that I already have with Lego sets. I'm definitely not getting that Technic Formula One car. Y'all, I'm going to have a great time watching all the other amazing content creators on Twitch building that Technic Mercedes, but that's not for me. But the system one was the one I was kind of on the fence about. It's a nice display set. It's on a nice little, dynamic angled display set and everything like that. Like I like it. I just don't know if it's particular, especially with everything else coming out on March 1st. Definitely not a day one. Definitely not a day one purchase for me whatsoever. What might be a day one purchase for some people, though, is the new BrickLink Designer program sets are launching as of right now. 24 minutes into this show, they're launching in 23 minutes. Mr. Bricks O'Brien.
Yes, sir.
If you're listening to this afterwards, or if you're watching this afterwards on YouTube, or listening to it afterwards on Apple or Spotify, obviously the crowdfunding has already begun. But we do have five unique sets: Old Train Engine Shed, Mountain Fortress, Parisian Street. We have the General Store and the Snack Shack. First up, Mr. Bricks O'Brien, if you could, can you kind of take me through the BrickLink Designer program, what the heck it is, how it works, all this? And I'm sure there's people out there that don't even if they are AFOLs, they go to the Lego store, they buy their stuff from Lego.com, Lego store, Target, whatever. They don't know what this stuff is. Explain how this works.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So BrickLink, now being acquired by Lego, officially can streamline a process that BrickLink has really dabbled in for the past a couple of years, which is this idea that there are these specific kits that are designed by creators, mock builders, whoever, that then BrickLink themselves as their own entity come together to put the kits together with the instructions and send them out as if it were a real product, where generally BrickLink is used for getting a bunch of one part or a bunch of different parts for you to make your own thing, like a individual piece marketplace like eBay. But now that this idea of sets are here, and now that Lego has officially purchased them, they can use a lot of their resources to streamline this process. So this idea of BrickLink bringing official sets to the foreground has been around for a while. I remember I got the first Western Saloon when it came out forever ago. It was like $150, and it was a thing that Lego would probably never make themselves as an official set, especially at that point there were no Western anything other than Lone Ranger, which was based on an IP. And though that movie sucked, but then the sets go for a lot of money because it's Lego Western, it's closest you're going to get, right? So it gives an opportunity for things to come out officially from Lego by non-Lego designers that hit on things that Lego themselves may not be in the market of getting to. So this is for the diehard Lego people. This is not for, Donna and Karen going into Target and looking for a $20 Lego set for Declan for the birthday party. This is for the diehard AFOLs, right? So this is marketed toward people that want very kind of hyper specific things, whether it be castle or trains or modulars or Western or whatever. And the way the process works is there's a bunch of ideas that people submit, whether they're practical, tangible or not. It's kind of 50-50, kind of like Lego ideas. And so people can vote on hey, these are the top 10 that I want to see be brought as pre-orderable to the program. So that process happens. Then where we're at right now with Series 1 officially, you can actually purchase these sets. There are 5 that were selected out of this entire lineup of sets, and you can pre-order them, and they will arrive at a much, much later time. So these, since they are now under the umbrella of Lego officially, these are official Lego sets. I don't know how you want to phrase it in your mind or whatever, but these are official Lego sets. I got the red logo on it, produced by BrickLink and all that. So but
Lego doesn't touch them.
Okay.
Lego doesn't touch them at all, right?
Lego. So the only way I believe Lego touches them officially is that you actually check. This is when I did it forever ago. You check out these Lego sets on Lego.com.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets added to your cart, and then I believe you earn the points on it and everything, and then it ships out whenever it ships out, whatever. So this Series 1 that'll be crowdfundable in a few moments here, if you're watching it or listening afterward, already is. The finalists were refined June 1st, 2023 to January 1st, 2024. So we had a 6-month refining period. So they were working with the instruction team to say, hey, does this actually work? You need to change this to make it legal and blah, 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 blah. Now it'll be crowdfunding until February 28th, so just about 3 weeks. And then production and shipping will happen July 2024. So you're going almost a year from the moment these were announced to be happening to when they could be in your hands, which is kind of like what crowdfunding is. I know that because I've done 2 of them. So it takes a long time. But the choices you have here being the 5, the Mountain Fortress, Parisian Street, the train, engine shed, general store, snack shack. These are all things I feel like Lego wouldn't do. If anything, the Mountain Fortress, because there's been such a dedication to castle, especially recently. But the thing about these sets, they are not designed by official Lego designers. They're designed by really amazing people that absolutely know what they're doing. But they don't have the same level of care or professionalism of an official Lego designer that goes through like a rigorous process of like, they'll, hammer every detail out of you to make sure it's perfect because Lego is a high quality product. And they're also not incorporating new elements into any of these. So it has to be pretty accessible for BrickLink to summon the parts from, or for Lego to make themselves, or whatever. So these are actual kits you can buy. There have been other ones where the instructions are just available. And if all this sounds very confusing, you're like, I can't follow what Mr. O'Brien is saying. That's just how it is. That's just true. There's just a lot of stuff going on, dude.
Well,
and so
yeah. Go ahead, because that's
the other part of it.
That's what I was saying, or kind of saying was like, we're not. There are people that are even AFOLs out there that don't understand this part of it because there's so many levels to just this, and the reason why I think it's important to emphasize exactly in what you're doing is you don't want people walking into it, buying it, thinking, because a lot of the secondhand stores will get this. Your little local brick shops, whatever area you're in, you're going to see these white boxes sitting up on shelves, and you're going to go buy them for a pretty high price. And then all of a sudden things aren't clicking together very well, and things are a little sketchy on the build and not particularly structurally sound and things.
The example that I want to call upon, because I watched Tiago Catarino do a video on this, because I've actually sent this out to some ambassador people. Some of them got different sets early. So I saw his video on the Parisian Street. And so when you look at the Parisian Street, for example, if this were an official Lego kit, there would be more variety in the individual buildings, because there's kind of 4 sections to this lineup of the street, where you look at a modular building like the detective office or the jazz club, right? There's the red building and the little blue building. There's this thing and that. There'd be more variety in these things. So that's what I mean. There's a different level of care that goes into it. Not bad, but just like not that same level of thinking of like, ooh, how do we make this more interesting and whatever based on, Lego set standards. And one of the points that was a little iffy was the windows in one of the sections here. It doesn't quite connect in the same way, so it falls out pretty easily. And those little details of an official Lego set, you would never see that. It would be, fixed and functioning properly. So this is if you want to get one of these Lego kits, it's kind of like Bricker Builds in a way, where Lego isn't going to make this. You don't want to go through the effort of summoning all the parts yourself. You want a box that has the instructions, that has it all by bag number. You get this for yourself. And in this case, it's an official Lego product. And so the pre-order starts obviously now for 3 weeks. And then the way it's going to work from now on, there's a series 2, which we actually already know what those are. And those will start crowdfunding in June. So about every 6 months, it seems like there's going to be a new wave of sets you can crowdfund, that you can vote into existence. So it's kind of like in the cycle. So now that they've refined this, it's taken like 4 years to refine this cycle. But now that we're here, it makes it a lot easier to say, all right, I can vote on this, but then I can buy this. Vote on this, buy this. And series 2, the one that I'm most interested in, there's the Mushroom House, which looks very bright and colorful. And then there's also the Ominous Isle, which is kind of like Pirates of Barracuda Bay, but on a smaller scale here. So there's different markets they're kind of hitting on with each of these waves. But right now, we have stuff where Series 4, you can actually vote on that right now. And if you were voting for like a Series 4 set, you will not have that in your hands until February 2025, literally 1 year from now. So this is a long haul process, all of it.
Sure. Makes a lot of sense. And
end of trying to explain several years worth of whatever this is in like 10 minutes.
No, and I like I said, I think you did a really good job. Can we all get a round of applause for Mr. Bricks O'Brien?
I tried, man. I really tried.
But
I tried.
I think, you know, because here in about 12 minutes, these things are going to go live for whatever, and they sell out.
Oh, they do. Yeah,
they sell out. People buy the heck out of these things. So if you are into it, whatever, you need to get them. You need to check early and be prepared, because they will be selling out quickly. None of these on the list are peaking my radar. Like I haven't bought a single the BrickLink Designer program set yet, and I don't know if I ever will. But I appreciate, obviously, the designers are much smarter and more creative than I will ever be. Some of these things look amazing, but I have watched people put some of these things together and they struggle. Like I've seen them struggle, and you know, and not, things aren't going together just right, and they can't follow the instructions accordingly, and they've seen people struggle with these sets. So they're not for the faint of heart. These are not sets that, you know, grandma needs to go and pick up for little Jimmy for a Christmas present, because little Jimmy's going to have a pain in the butt putting this together.
The diehard Lego people, and this started in like 2018. So like I said, I found it on BrickLink, the Wild West Saloon, that was part of the AFAL designer program from 2018 to 2019. So this is like 5 years of refinement in this process. And it had to involve Lego buying BrickLink to make the thing happen. So that's all to say, as somebody who's also done it, crowdfunding is a massive pain in the, can you play the sound effect? Thank you. Massive pain in the, sounds like I'm on life support, which I kind of feel like sometimes when I'm doing all the crowdfunding stuff. What do you mean a shipping delay? Oh, no.
I'm just going to keep beeping everything he said. Here's one of the reasons why I think this is also a little confusing, at least for me, and maybe I'm in the minority on this, but they also have the whole ideas program.
Totally, and that's a totally separate.
It's a totally separate thing, and that's, to me, that's confusing, because you have the same, like, you have a voting process where you gather up a bunch of sets that gain support, and then those, but you know, after all the supported sets are determined, then Lego goes through a final, you know, voting process themselves. But the difference is Lego, their designers do touch these sets. Yes, they are going to be released in their official Lego boxes, you know, in official Lego stores and things like that. So it's the two things that are so similar in the similarities between the two things are so close that it's easy to get confused what you're actually voting for or voting on. And wait, but I thought I voted on a Parisian set, and I thought that was going to become a Lego Ideas thing. No, completely different. So yeah, explain the Lego Ideas thing now, and how the hell, other than Lego, you know, their designers touching it, how is this a little bit different?
Yeah, so Lego Ideas has been around a lot longer than the BrickLink Designer program in any capacity has been. I believe Lego Ideas first started as Lego Kuso in 2011, 2012. So it's been quite a long time. So that is a platform where you go onto there with your digital mockup, your physical mockup, whatever, and you're basically putting a pitch out into the universe that you want this to become an official Lego set that will be judged much harder, but also have way less involvement than if you were in the BrickLink Designer program. So with Lego Ideas, let's say I created a Bricks O'Brien Lego set and that magically got 10,000 votes. Okay. So what happens is that goes into a bucket along with all the other sets, and Lego says, hey, these are what we think the people say they want these. They want these. They claim they want these. So let's figure out if this is practical. And then they eliminate all the dumb ideas. They eliminate all the impractical ideas. And then they choose 2 or 3 or none of the ideas from a given review period to put into production. The cycle typically takes around 18 months to go from an idea all the way to a thing on the store shelves. And I believe the reward for the designer is still a 1% cut of all sales for the model as it exists. That includes, I believe, any like variants with it. So in the case of the oh man, what's it called? Not the Apollo. Is it the Apollo? The ship, the tall rocket ship?
Saturn
V. Listen, there's a bunch of ships. Astro's yelling at me. I can hear them already.
Close.
So with the case of the Saturn V, they changed it where they added, I think, one piece for they changed the set number, but you still get your 1% cut, even though Lego might change one thing about it down the production line. So the thing is, some of those Lego sets have a very long shelf life, like the Saturn V, like the Ideas Treehouse. Some of them are very short, like the Storybook or the Maze. So even though you get it to 10,000 votes, even though it gets to the approval phase and gets made into an actual set, that doesn't mean it's going to translate. You know, you're not going to retire off the money, as far as I know. And you're also really competing with licensing for Winnie the Pooh was a Lego idea set to begin with. So was Sesame Street. So they've really started to crack down on the rules on a lot of that stuff and been more blunt with like, hey, you can do this, you can't do that, because there's been several Hyrule castles that have gotten all the way to 10,000 votes and they all get shot down to the point where Lego has the right to say, hey, we're not doing Zelda. Stop asking. It's the equivalent of when kids pop into my live stream and they're like, can we play Minecraft? We're not doing Minecraft. Done. We're done. Okay. That's what Lego is doing more efficiently on the Lego Ideas side. BrickLink Designer program has to be all original, no new parts. Lego Ideas, they can introduce new parts, new characters, new molds, new intellectual property, which is where we see things like what we're going to be showing today, the Interstellar vehicle getting to 10,000, Wizard of Oz appearing in Lego Dimensions before hitting 10,000. So there's other facets to that too that are allowing for more leeway with Lego Ideas by comparison of the BrickLink stuff.
So with regards to, you know, the Interstellar and, you know, and Wizard of Oz, it hits these things hit 10,000 supporters, which is the kind of the magic number, right? But you said it, Lego doesn't necessarily have to make them.
They can choose to make, you know, all of them or none of them. And there have been a couple of review periods where, you know, there are 50 designs, whether they're good or not is up for debate, but then they all get denied because they're just like, no.
Right.
And that process has grown too. So Lego Ideas has been criticized fairly recently for being, you know, being more about intellectual property than it probably should be, because this is where we got BTS and Big Bang Theory and Friends and whatever. They're trying to sell a Lego set, and Ideas are their chance to do a one-off Lego set based on a thing that'll fly off shelves, one and done, we're out, you know? Some of them I wish they elaborated on, and some of them they did. Like Minecraft was originally a Lego Kuso turned Ideas submission, and now we have a whole theme of it. But that is an anomaly.
So like when it comes to this Interstellar set, right? It, you know, gains 10,000 supporters. I look at this set and I go, huh? Yeah,
it just really depends. So there's a whole other side to this topic we don't have to go into today, but there's definitely, and I'm not saying this is the case here because this designer is the same designer that did the Polaroid camera. So
sure.
There's also something to, hey, my audience of several 100,000 people, vote on this. And then even if it doesn't go through, you still get a care package from Lego full of like $1,000 worth of free stuff. So for you to just cobble something together, you could get some free Lego about it. And it's free to log in, sign up, and vote for the thing. So
you get one vote, right?
You get one vote, but you can make multiple accounts. So go ahead.
Who would do that for, you know, things like Hot Pockets and whatnot, right? Like,
no. You could vote. It was like different emails. It's totally fine. Shut up, Zach.
It's totally
shut up.
Totally fine. Totally legit.
Yeah.
So it's to me the idea of this Lego Ideas set, this Interstellar set, getting 10,000 supporters doesn't do anything for me because I don't think this set's getting out the door. Like I don't think anybody cares about this. Actually cares about this particular set. You know,
But a lot of people say that about stuff like Golden Girls. Oh, we want a Golden Girls. This is people's way of saying, hey, we want this. But if there's anything that I've learned that, a lot of our content creator friends and just in business in general, people say they want a lot of things, Zach. They say they want a lot of things. But when it comes down to brass tacks, like, all right, here's your opportunity to make the thing happen, crickets. So they have to make a very educated business decision on what things can go through or not go through. And Interstellar, obviously great movie, but I don't think it has the legs to stand on as a test of time movie, And whereas with Wizard of Oz, I could see them doing a Wizard of Oz diorama set, not to that scale with the whole Yellow Brick Road and whatever that got approved, or got to 10,000 rather. But something like that, I could see. I think a Wizard of Oz is justifiable.
I
with
think
all
Wizard
the
of Oz is
characters.
fine. I think Wizard of Oz is big enough, has stood the test of time. Whatever. Interstellar. Name me the main character in the movie, not the actor. Not
I haven't seen it.
But that's my point. Like, I just don't think, like, you can name the Golden Girls. You can name Blanche. You can you can name these guys, right? Interstellar is you remember the music, and somehow the ending did what it did. We're not even sure how this movie ends. This set blows my mind but to your point, I have a following. I'm going to get 10,000 people on my own to vote for this thing, not because it's a cool set, but because I've got enough of a following to
and that's not to be clear, that's not the case for everything. Where I think another set, a part of this lineup, is the DreamWorks Shrek's Swamp has been gotten to 10,000 votes twice, and considering Shrek is a classic for people, especially my age and a little bit younger, a little bit older. Yeah, make a Shrek Lego set, dude. The Sky Bison Appa from Avatar has gotten through several times and still refuses to be made. We have the Netflix series coming out in a couple weeks. Make that set. It's been made through Lego before. I understand maybe like just do it. Like, just do it. Like, some of these are no-brainers and they'll get denied. Some of these have no right being there, but then they get approved. So what will actually happen? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the Roman Forum. Like, I can see that. That's a GWP. Somewhere down the line, that's a GWP set. They can simplify it a little bit, whatever they want to do to it, scale it down a little bit, and make it a GWP. And that's fantastic. That's a fantastic gift with purchase set. And that's the way I look at a lot of, like, I can look at some of these Lego idea sets and I can almost say, okay, I know how they're going to use that. I know how they're going to use that. They're never going to touch that. They're never going to touch that. Yep. Like, I've gotten to that point now with looking at these things, and I can kind of guess, like, yeah, they're going to, what they're going to do with what Lego likes and what they don't like, the medieval tournament, and that's the one sticky wicket with me is if they take a much larger set and then scale it down, like really scale it down to how does that translate money wise? Where's the 1% coming from if it's a gift with purchase set?
That's the brass tacks and behind the scenes that I'm not qualified to speak on, but it's happened before. They've had specific things on the Lego Ideas blog that says, hey, we're going to do this as a gift with purchase for the rocket ship. There's also been a space themed one where the kid is like in a cardboard box flying a spaceship. So I think they're doing a dedicated thing for gift with purchases, not necessarily like taking an idea and converting it downward.
Interesting. I want to, these are sets that, some people want to see happen between the BrickLink Designer program and the Lego Ideas. So these are sets that people covet. These are sets that people are hoping to eventually get made or would love to see made. There are tons of sets out there that are actually already made, that have been out there, that have been retired for years. Those are the white whale sets, Mr. Bricks O'Brien. And I want to take the last bit of our time here to reflect back on some of the amazing sets that maybe even still are available, but are out of your price range, are sets that have been retired for just a couple years, a year, sets that have been retired for a decade. What sets out there? What is a set, not sets, plural? What is a set, that white whale set? Because for the white whale, there can only be one. What is that set for Mr. Bricks O'Brien that he missed out on that would do anything to get their hands on?
I remembered I was in your live chat and you asked that question and then somebody named off like 3 different things. It's like, you don't understand what Moby Dick is at all, do you? You don't understand. There can't be 3.
That's why I specified today.
Yeah, this isn't a Hydra. Okay, this isn't that. All right. I have been very fortunate through my time collecting that a lot of the stuff I've wanted, I've gotten my hands on. One of them for a while was a set from Knights Kingdom 2, which is the main fortress that I got when I was a kid. I actually have that sealed still. That is a not very desirable theme, but one that I am very much a fan of. So it's very, very cool. So other than that, man, I have the first Lego set I repurchased, the first Lego set I ever got, which is actually a set they pulled off of shelves for reasons we won't go into. But, and I'll elaborate off camera if you care. But other than that, dude, I don't know if I have a white whale.
No, really.
I think I have everything I want. I'm in mythical dragon territory with that Peach's Castle. Like I'm like a Loch Ness monster. Like, is it real? Do we know? Oh, like that. Legitimately, I'm 100% serious. I think that is my not. I don't think I have a Moby Dick anymore. I've already shot that thing in the eye and pulled it up on the deck and sold it at the market and chopped it up. Right, it's done. But it might be that castle, man. But I know for a fact you have one because you brought this up, and I know I saw the glimmer in your eyes like a small child during Christmas time in New York City. Look up at that big Voltron set, and you were like, and you didn't do it. You didn't do it. So
I wanted $800 for it.
That's kind of obnoxious.
I was angry. Like I wasn't even. I wasn't frustrated. It was pure anger at that point because I'm like, you are literally scamming people for that right now. Like that's what you're doing. And I hate that. I hate seeing that. I've had conversations with our good friend, the local brick shop, about this kind of stuff in secondhand Lego stores that are around my area, where I see sets that are currently available in stores and people are putting a markup on them on their shelves because Nana is going in there and not knowing any better.
No, definitely not.
And that sucks. That's taking advantage of people. And that's what this guy was doing with this $800 Voltron set. And as we look at chat, I'm seeing a lot of Voltrons as well.
Sidebar, pro gamer tip: when you go to any Lego convention, all of those vendors, they're not for you. They're not for you. The yard sale is for you, where everybody brings their stuff and they sell it off and trade it, where it's literally like, a bazaar. Mm-hmm. Those booths in there, those are for the public. Those are for the Declans, Donalds, Tabithas, and Tammys who don't know any better, buying stuff for their kids. Right. That's what that's for. And they're getting taken
advantage of, and it bothers me, man. Like that stuff, those people should be ashamed of themselves.
I don't disagree, and they see it business as business, and people pay it, and it's not great. I don't do that. I'm not in the business of doing that. Like my book is $18. Like I'm selling it for 150.
I've had several, like, I basically, as white whales, as I've captured my white whale, another one sneaks in there. Right. And, mine was like a lot of what our viewers are saying was Voltron. It was Voltron. That was a set that I missed out on.
Really surprising to me. It didn't. I remember working at the Lego store when that came out and when it retired. It didn't fly. I looked at it and I was like, why isn't this Power Rangers? I don't know any better. And I'm not a Power Rangers guy either.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have ideas of why maybe, but I think, primarily I think even though it's been a popular, Lego's a popular toy brand for a long time, I think the adults getting into it, and it would be adults that would know Voltron, not kids and not teenagers. It would be adults, right? And I think adults have just been really exploding on the Lego scene, in my opinion, since 2017, 2018, like really getting into, especially during the pandemic. That's when it really, adults went crazy, right? So that could have had an effect on it, but I have since, because of an amazing friend, I've since now acquired Voltron, and since it was on an
amazing friend. What friends do you have?
Well, there's I don't have many, Brian. I'm kind of lonely.
I know, but so who?
So I'm going to call him out, because this was an incredible thing. This was an absolute incredible thing that he did for me. You can find him on Twitch. You can find him here in our chat currently on YouTube. Mr. AZ Pinoy,
that guy
in Arizona, found a listing for Voltron at just the right price. And the reason why this is so incredible what he did is Voltron is also on his white whale list.
Wow, look at that guy.
He passed it up.
That's a friend move right there. That's what that is.
I felt dirty taking it. I kept saying,
I feel awful.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And he, he was kind enough. Him and his wife were kind enough to negotiate the deal, get it done, and it is currently waiting on me to pick up from them in March. So a huge shout out to those amazing human beings for doing that for me. So white whales are gone for me. I mean, I can throw another one in there, like a UCS Y-Wing. That's another UCS Star Wars set that I missed out on. Y-Wing's my favorite ship, but is that considered a white whale for me in the same sense that Voltron was? Absolutely not.
There's a ton of Lego sets I wanted as a kid that I never got. One of them was the Wookiee Catamaran from Episode 3, 2005. It had like one of the light up lightsaber characters. I just wanted it, but like, could I get it now? Yeah, for sure. But like, I don't have an innate desire to. There's nothing that's like, I see it, I lock out. It's not that beautiful woman across the bar where I'm like, oh. Nothing like that.
Well, you continue to look at people like you just did me right there. You're gonna seal the deal. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, Brian.
Hey, listen. This is our last show before. No, wait. Is it?
It
no,
is. We will be live on Valentine's Day unless there's a Nintendo Direct, and apparently Brian has to skip us for Valentine's Day. So
I got to take care of what I love.
But Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and there are sets you can get your Valentine for Valentine's Day. We've got the new bouquet of roses out, and there's a really adorable Shiba Inu gift with purchase going on right now for Valentine's Day. So lots of I don't know. Am I the only one that tends to buy my Valentine Lego? Is that a thing, or is it just me?
I don't. I haven't had a Valentine to give Lego to. Not that I would.
Well, if you keep looking at people across the bar like you just did, chat like, oh my God. Oh,
there's baby blues. Don't look too long. You might find out something about yourself you're not ready to admit.
I'm telling you, I'm getting lost in them. I'm getting lost in them, baby. That looks something. That's hot, folks. That's gonna wrap it up for ZMB Live this week. Like I said, we should be live on Valentine's Day for maybe some Valentine's Day fun. But if not, we'll see you the week after that, I guess. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Like and subscribe on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Zach M. Rutledge. And don't forget to like our podcast follow our podcast on Spotify and Apple.
You're getting
podcasts.
there. The spiel is developed. You gotta move out of the twitchy mindset. You gotta move into content creator mindset.
It sucks. It sucks. It's not. I'm just not. My brain isn't there.
Nope, that's where I come in.
I know.
He's
me. Mr. YouTube. He is
Mr. Everything.
Mr. Everything. Mr. Bricks. Oh, Brian, I appreciate you being. Oh my God, you got to stop it with that. I can't. I feel things. I feel things in parts of my body I shouldn't. Mr. Bricks O'Brien, thank you so much for a fantastic show. Apparently, the BrickLink Designer website is completely down.
Good for them.
As things just went live. So that sounds about right. For Mr. Bricks O'Brien, I am Zach M. Rutledge. Thanks for being here tonight with us, folks. We really appreciate you, and we will check you next time here on YouTube live, 10 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesdays. Bye!